Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back with his Tuesday morning guest, Mr. Lumberjack. How you doing, sir?
I'm super awesome. Cold, but awesome.
Yeah, seven.
It's only seven.
Cold. It's only
a little
seven.
chilly.
Well, hey, man, I've actually said something a couple of times that people kind of push back or maybe don't understand. And that is, I say things like, do you know who won the 1970s? Right? Because I believe I put together a 50-year spreadsheet that now allows you to break it down by any decade or any year that you would like. And I've said for quite a while that I think we are repeating the 1970s. And so I do think there was one set of individuals that won the 1970s, and the 1970s were ugly. A lot unemployment, inflation, stagflation. It was, generally speaking, a horrible year. I have a few memories of the late 70s, and they were not good. And so I just want to talk about who won the 70s.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great point, because I think we're in that position again. And the people who won in the 70s were people that the sooner they bought in the 70s, time in the market better than timing the market, were people that invested in homes.
Yeah, and I just want to reiterate this again. What are we seeing right now? We are likely seeing rising interest rates for years to come. I think the Fed is going to be slow off the dime. They're going to rip off a Band-Aid one excruciating hair at a time. It's going to suck for a long time versus the whole rip it off and see what breaks. I'm not of the kind that thinks they're going to raise rates and then, lower them in August. There is actually people that think that will happen. I
don't think so.
I don't know. Did you guys see PPI today at 9.7? Doesn't seem to be slowing down to me. But so I want to pull up the data, because I do think, like, you're going to see, if you invested in stocks, did you win? We're going to see if you were a wage earner, did you win? We're going to see if you were a homeowner. We're not even talking investors. We are talking homeowners.
Yeah.
So let me pull it up and we'll see what we have to show. So let's take this lovely 50-year spreadsheet and go back to the 70s. So it starts back here. All right. So let's see. Where do I want to go? So I guess let's talk about stocks, because people often want to talk about that. So where does the 70s end? The 70s, 78, 79. So this is 79. So let's see. How did stocks do? And again, there's nothing in 1970 because that's the base year. So, okay. So it looks like you were up an average of 2.6%.
Crushing it.
Again, I want to, because you're about to see something. So the stock market over a 10-year period, 1970 to 79, you were up a total of 23.4%, or 2.6 a year. In reality, you don't really know anything yet, but you're about to. What did inflation do over those years?
Yeah, a lot higher. That kind of crushed your returns.
Yeah. Well, they were 71%, an average of 70%. So folks, on my channel, we've started to talk about real versus nominal, right? You had a nominal return of 2.6%. You had a real negative 5% average yearly return. Because
for a decade.
A year, five-year negative, year after year after year after year. All right.
5% negative for a decade, every year for a decade.
Yeah. Well, good news, folks. There was some good news. If you were a wage earner, right, you were an employee, your wages went up 66%, or an average of 7%. I already forgot. So wait, wages went up 7.3. 7.3. What was total CPI?
70.89.
Oh my God. You were real and nominal. So your wages went up 7.3, CPI went up 7, you're ahead 0.3%. Fuck, inflation is nasty, just nasty. Yeah.
Well, there you're not counting. So CPI over the course of the year, there was no wage growth that year because you use that as your baseline. So
yeah, let's take that 1 year out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, now it's 7.2. Basically, you're even.
Even.
Yes. So you're not, so you lost 5% in the stock market. You're even on wages. Now let's just assume you bought a home in 70 or 71. 30-year fixed rate debt. It doesn't change. Well, what happens if the house goes down? They can't take it back. It's a residential loan. There's all these, yeah. Okay. Anyways, I digress. So let's see. You bought a home in, let's say 71. So we won't count that year. Right. So if you bought it, let's do this. You bought it in 70. Let's see what happens. You have seen 74% or 8% appreciation. So again, you are only 1% above inflation, but you are above inflation. Right. So again, you have 30-year fixed rate debt. Oh, by the way, rents are up. Your mortgage payment didn't change. There's all of these things that make sense.
Well, you benefit of 9 years of mortgage pay down as well.
Yeah, I mean, 9 years of mortgage pay down.
I mean, it's by far for that entire decade was the best performing asset.
Yeah, let's compare this to stocks, right? What did stocks do again?
They were up 23, sorry, 23%.
So stocks are up 23%, which, oh, by the way, you have to do 100% of.
Yep.
That's all your money. Up here, if you're a first-time home buyer, you only have to put 3.5% down.
Well, back then, what was it in the 70s? It was
let's say 10 or let's say 20%.
10 or 20. Yeah.
I know. I was a little too young to be buying homes in the 70s, so I don't recall.
Yeah.
I don't recall. But yeah, here's the deal. You're actually ahead of the only thing that was ahead of inflation was your house. So this is why I say, if I believe, so again, why did I build a 50-year spreadsheet? I believe summer of last year that we were about to change 40-year history. Rates have been going down for 40 years. I believed and still do that we hit a bottom and we're going to have a decade or 5 to 10 years of raising rates. I didn't know what happened. The stock market was a winner. I didn't know. So I started collecting data points. And right now, based on what we have here, the only people that won the 70s were the people that bought early and had fixed rate debt.
Yep.
That's what this means to me. And oh, by the way, wage earner, you made more, because again, look at houses, they doubled. Went from 24 to 48. Stock market went up 9 points, right? It went from 90 to 99. I mean, what are we talking about? Really? Yeah. So I know this is what I took away from this.
And again, based on timing, right? That house every year was worth more. That stock market, if you had to sell, what if you had to sell in 1975? Your 93, your 90 was down to 72. You lost 30 points.
Yeah.
You know, because if you have to sell the house, that's where I think it's also important that you broke it down year by year.
Right.
Not in any of those years on the home appreciation side, not in any of those years was a negative. And Mike, I'd even make the argument. I don't know what exactly the numbers show, but this is what it feels like right now, is that a large portion of the value increase of homes is directly correlated to inflation and rate.
Well, yeah, I think a
very
lot
large, right?
I think this year for sure. I think 2022 is going to be a pretty flat year in real terms, but nominally it'll be whatever inflation is.
I mean, you had Zillow go from 11 to 16. Hopefully it's a different algorithm than what they used on their houses.
Yeah.
You have Goldman Sachs at 16. I think you have Fannie and Freddie. I believe that I want to say they're 11.
I think they're 10
at 11.
Yeah.
I think 11, 10 or 11. But again, I think what's very interesting is even just from an asset class perspective of hedging against inflation and a time of significant rate increase. Is there something safer than a house?
No, yeah, you got to do residential. If you follow my channel, you know I'm really nervous about commercial, right?
You and me both.
The variable rate debt aspect freaks me out. Yeah, I'm staying residential, or I'm going to get non-QM, which I can get on apartments and office. But yeah, I think there is a clear winner of the 1970s, and it was homeowners that bought early.
I agree.
That's just what I think. And again, we have a decade of evidence.
So time in the market is better than timing the market. Just checking.
Time in the market is better than timing the market.
Yeah, Mike. So real quick question: we don't often take victory laps.
No, I never take a victory lap.
We don't often take them. Big victory laps. But I got to tell you, I'm closing next week or 2 weeks from now on 9 refinances, 30-year fixed rate debt at 4%. I am going in the back door of the bank in fear that if I go through the front door, the bankers might shoot me.
Yeah.
Because I know what their rates are now. They're over 4.5 on that same product offering.
You couldn't start today at 4%. You did a rate lock, I'm sure.
Over 4. Oh yeah, for sure. It's over 4. It's 4.55 right now on that package that they're willing to do for folks.
I actually just priced a deal for someone with a lender I know. So there are some investment loans over 5 now,
They are. Yep.
right? New
Yep.
investor, not perfect credit,
Yeah.
20% down versus 25. I mean,
Yep. One of the ones that I saw too, even on that 40-year mortgage, 5.125. This is with great credit.
yeah,
5.125. Excuse me. And you're buying 2 points.
yeah. Cost of debt is, again, I think Jason Harbin calls it cost of money. I think that's a great thing. Cost of money. I love that, Jason. I'm going to steal that. I'm going to borrow that. Yeah, it's cost of money's going up, but that doesn't mean there's no deals. It just means you got to do better deals. That's all.
Again, this is one of the things that somebody was talking about was, well, but how does that impact? How does this, how does that? You can get yourself into a human pretzel.
Yeah.
If you don't look at the core fact. What are you doing? You are buying an asset with 30-year fixed rate debt.
Mhm.
Now, you might have Prop 13 in California where your property taxes aren't going to go up. You might live in New Hampshire, Texas, or Florida where, and I think it's Las Vegas too, where you can actually expect that your property taxes are going to go up single digits every single year. That can happen. It does.
Yeah.
It's happened to me for years.
Mhm.
However, I look at the fact that I've got 30-year fixed rate debt. That mortgage payment itself is never changing. The insurance might go up, but not much. But the taxes, even with them going up, I far outpace that with my rental increases, far outpace than I do. So my tax rate might go up 6%. My rental increase was 24. Now, might rates go flat for rents for that unit for the next 5 years? Sure, they could. I already got all of it, and I get it for 4 years while taxes catch up.
This is again, we do this business. We're not just out there. And again, the reason I love talking with you is because we both started before the crash.
Yes.
We both were through it, right? We were in the thick of it.
Yes.
We both sacrificed.
Yes.
And we both got to the other side, and now we're giving back. And we still do this business, right? What am I doing? I'm taking one of the properties I have. I'm trying this ADU thing. I never built squat. Yeah, I'm going to build it. I'm going to record it. I'm going to talk all about it so others can learn. So I love giving back. So how can people find you? Because you do an amazing thing every week.
Appreciate that. Lumberjack Landlord on Instagram and Lumberjack Landlord on YouTube. We've got multiple live streams every week, one for couples, one for real estate investors or wannabe real estate investors, where we answer all your questions.
Yeah, man. Thanks again.
Thanks, Mike.